Okay, so my name is Amadeus. I'm one of the study skills mentor under First Principles, and I'm actually a university student now studying law. And so today I'll be going through making notes for science because I believe everyone here is having your holidays now, right?
Yes.
So, okay, yeah, so of course we want to, make the full use of our holidays, especially since our revision and preparation from our last exam starts 4 months before, right? So for today's refresher clinic, we're going to start with our case study first, then followed by a solution, application, and then accountability time, okay? So why do I struggle with note taking? So first, most students struggle with note taking because they're not sure how to revise. So who here has, felt the same way? Sometimes you don't know how to take notes because you don't know how to revise, correct?
Me.
Okay, so do you guys currently take notes when you revise your work now?
Yeah.
And okay, yeah. So do you feel like sometimes you open your textbook and you see like, wow, the textbook is so thick. How am I going to write all the notes for that? And you get very lazy and demotivated, right? So I'm going to teach you some ways today to try to avoid that from happening. Okay. So yes, so some people struggle with note taking because they are not sure how to revise. So this leads to information overload and their notes are very disorganized all over the place. And then secondly, because sometimes students rely too much on textbooks, so they just flip through the pages to read rather than taking. Okay. So next, of course, is poor note-taking habits. So, for example, having incomplete notes. For example, if let's say in one topic, right, you only do for half the topic, then you skip to the next topic already because you think, okay, I read, I understand, but do you really understand? Yeah. Okay. And then another one, also some people take notes, but they just rewrite what the textbook says. So rather than understanding and condensing the notes themselves. So who here maybe think that they have one of these problems? Anyone want to share? So maybe Samuel, do you struggle with note-taking skills?
Not really,
Yes.
because I can still make notes.
Okay, so, okay, not bad. You still make your own notes, but do you feel like sometimes your notes may not be very useful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think this is so? So what kind of method do you use? Do you just copy the textbook, that kind of method, is it?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Ah, okay, I see. Okay, interesting. So of course, there is some note-taking habits that are not very good. Of course, we want to fix that and correct that, right? Okay, so maybe just to give you guys an example, let me give you this case study of this student. So this student is called Abel. He's a former FPE student, so one of our students. He was a P5 boy who actually barely passed his science WA2. So he didn't do very well. So out of 30, right, maybe he got like 17 out of 30. So of course that is just pass. It's still a pass, but it's not a very good mark. Okay. So right now he's having a June holidays, but he wants to improve on his science, but he doesn't know how to do that. And right now, what he's doing, he's just reading his textbook as a revision method. So next, let's see what some observations of our student Abel. Okay. So first, he's very stressed because he didn't do well for WA2, right? So he wants to try to improve on himself, but he's not very sure how to create the notes, which of course would affect his studying technique. So he reads the textbook. Yes, Cedric,
It was just like me.
just like you. So you just read a textbook, but you don't know how to create notes, is it?
Yeah. Stress. So
Yes, Emmanuel, you have the same problem. You're stressed, is it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to teach you how to overcome that stress. Okay. So another observation on Abel is that he's overwhelmed. So who here look at their textbook and then they just don't want to read the textbook because it's just so thick? You think it's very boring. Anyone?
Same. No color.
Yes, Cedric.
and then my science teachers very a little bit annoying. Speaks very fast until I can't even understand.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
that class always keeps disturbing him. And then he always looks so red like an angry bird.
If let's say you don't feel like your classes helping, of course we can try to take notes and then we do it ourselves and try to of course break down information and using our note taking skills. Okay, so some explanations on why maybe Abel feels stressed and overwhelmed, and likewise for you guys here, is that first he has no note taking system. So he doesn't have a system that allows him to write notes well, and he's not used to writing and organizing notes. So besides a lack of note taking system, he also lacks memory skills. So he may already know the importance of notes, which is of course to help you to memorize better, right? Especially for science, because science you have to memorize more specific things. For example, keywords. So he understands the content, he may understand what a certain concept, but he fails to memorize the keywords. Okay, so how do we avoid such a case? So first thing I'm going to teach you today is the Cornell note structure. And the second thing is, of course, practice makes perfect. So first, I'll take you through a step-by-step guide. Sorry. Okay, so the very first step, right, is preparation. So one thing we need, of course, for science is the syllabus. So why does anyone here want to share maybe why they think the science syllabus is important for them when they write their notes?
If you don't know what are the topics, then you like suddenly forgot. So you can refer to the syllabus and see what are the topics, then yeah.
So your syllabus is somewhat like a checklist, right? So to make sure that you go through every subtopic and every topic that we need to go through. So this ensures that firstly, we do not miss out on any of the topics. And secondly, of course, to make sure that whatever is going to be tested, we go through those topics, okay? So the second thing we need to prepare is essential note-taking items, such as our pens and highlighters. But of course, if we have more colors, that'd be even better. So because different colors can be used to mean different things when we take our notes. And then the third thing also, of course, most importantly, is foolscap paper, right? Okay, so actually there's another item that is very important for our note-taking. It's actually a ring file. So does anybody want to guess why maybe a ring file is important? Anyone can try. Why do you think a ring file may be important when we take our notes?
So that you can keep your notes in the file organized.
Yes, Nara, perfect answer. So we can organize our notes properly because sometimes, of course, we have so much work given to us. We have a lot of different papers. So the notes may get missing, correct? Okay, so of course we don't want that to happen. So whenever we take our notes, for example, in school or in our student care or at home, we can just put it in a ring file. We can put it all together and then we make sure our notes are all in one organized place. Okay, so after preparation, our very next step is to use how to even take notes, right? So today I'm going to teach you guys called the Cornell note structure. So anyone here has heard of this note structure before? So for the Cornell note structure, it's really about putting things in two different columns. So for example, on our left column, we can write key headers for our readings in the left column, okay? And then in our right column, we can write details or like answers to what the heading is on the left column. So as you can see here in this example, right? So this note is specifically for the difference between living and non-living things. So this is the key header in the left column on the left side. Then on the right side, we're going to write the details of what are the differences between living and non-living things. So for example, living things, they can move, they need to eat, they will grow, and they'll reproduce. And then of course, non-living things, they cannot move, they don't eat, they don't grow, and they don't reproduce. Okay. So the left side is the key headers and the slightly broader topic in that sense. The right side is your details and your answer. Okay, so after this step one tip I can give you is to shorten your sentence. So just now everyone here said that they look at their textbook and then the words and sentences are very long and then they don't feel like of course reading the textbook anymore, right? Or even copying the stuff, because I'm sure some of you guys sometimes when you write your hands get tired easily, correct? Anyone here experience the same? All right, I see a thumbs up. Cedric also. Yes, Samuel also. Okay, yes. Okay, so how we are going to avoid that is that we're going to shorten our sentences. So instead of maybe copying the word for word from our textbook, right, try to summarize and paraphrase the key points to ensure you only capture the important parts. For our science answers, the key words are very important. So for example, using the word photosynthesis for plants or maybe specific parts of your body, large intestine, small intestine, and all that. Okay, so to always check what's important, right? Like what I mentioned about capturing the important parts. To check what's important, always refer to your syllabus topic list and maybe the curriculum also if they have a more detailed breakdown. Okay, why do you think short notes are better? So let's say in our exam, right, we write maybe a 2-sentence answer for 3 marks versus we write maybe a 5-sentence answer for the same 3 marks. Why do you think maybe the shorter answer is better?
Save more time.
Yes, Nara, perfect answer. It leaves us, more time to check our whole paper and also to maybe to go back to the questions that we're not very sure of. Okay, so of course, in that sense, shorter notes will be better because as long as they capture the keywords and we remember what to write for our exam. Okay, so the next tip I want to share with you guys is to use drawings instead of long paragraphs. Okay, so rather than keep on writing and writing, then you're like what? Yes, Emmanuel. So you mentioned words very boring, right? Sometimes just black and white, no color and all that. So that's why we can try to replace our words with drawings, diagrams, or charts. But of course, this doesn't mean you guys just doodle anything, some random nonsense. It must be drawings that are related to your notes. Okay. So for example, anybody here know what's the meaning of annotate?
Me.
Yes, Emmanuel, do you want to share what's the meaning?
Like, so you like underline or to like show your understanding of what you mean in this, like
Hmm.
for example, paragraph or question. So you can
Mm.
annotate to like, for example, you annotate to understand the question better.
Yes,
Then
correct. So, for example, right, what I say here by annotating drawings with words. So, in science, for example, your digestive system, your circulatory system, or maybe parts of a plant. So, there's a lot of different drawings, right, in our science topics. So, what we can do, right, rather than just drawing the plant there, but maybe you don't label the parts, try to annotate the drawings with words to help you understand. So, for example, let's say the digestive system, right? So of course, if you can draw it on your paper for your notes, but what we can do is maybe put arrows that shows what part is what's the name of each part, and under that part, you can maybe write the function, what the part is used for. So for example, large intestine is to absorb water, right? So we can put an arrow from the large intestine drawing and write there large intestine, of course, the name of the part, and then the function below it. Okay. So another tip that give you guys is to use different colors for different points. So for example, when you compare something like what we did just now, living versus non-living things, right? So maybe we could write the living things, the description of living things in maybe blue color and then non-living things in red color. So this shows that the differences between the two different things. So why do we think drawings are important in helping us understand better?
that's like drawing, so you like give you a better understanding of it.
Okay, very good. Okay, so do you notice that sometimes our science test papers has a lot of diagrams? They ask you to label certain parts.
Yeah.
So drawing sometimes helps to familiarize more with a certain part. So rather than just your notes, right? Let's say parts of a plant, then you just write the parts out in words, but you may not be able to picture how the part actually remember how the part actually looks like. So of course, drawings will help us to understand the function and then the part and all that better. Okay. Okay, so let me give you guys the next tip. So tip 3 is organize. To use a ring file to keep all your notes in one location per subject. And within the file, right, we can create different separate sections for the different topics within each subject. So for science specifically, we could put a different color paper just as a front of each subtopic. For example, water cycle, digestive system, circulatory system, just to separate each one. Okay, so use different colored files for different subjects so we don't get confused and bring the wrong file or file our notes under a different file. So for example, what color do you think what color you guys think would be the best for science?
Green.
Green, yes.
Orange.
Orange, okay. Nara, why orange?
The color of my school science file.
Oh, okay, very good. Okay, so use whatever color you guys think is the best and will help you to, familiarize with that color means science and, another color means math and so on and so forth. So what we can do is we use our syllabus checklist and we can put it as the very first page of the file. So when we put it in the file, we ensure that, we can always check. So the last tip, on how to take notes is, of course, to practice, practice, and practice. So let me teach you guys a cool trick, okay? To know whether your notes make sense, right? Try using them to explain what you just learned to either your parent, your sibling, or even a friend. So do you guys want to try to guess maybe why this will help you? No idea? No clues? Anyone? No? Okay, let me just help you guys a bit. Okay, so when we use our notes to explain the certain topic, right? So you can try to imagine it as yourself trying to answer the question at exam. So as you're trying to explain it to maybe your mom, right? Then after that you're like, hey, wait, actually I don't really understand what I just wrote. Let me refer to my textbook and see whether I can change the way I wrote my notes for this part, and maybe it'll be better. Okay. So to know whether our notes make sense, always try to use them and try to teach someone else what we just learned. The more you practice, the more concise your notes will be. So as what we have always learned, always to exam preparation always starts 4 months before our next exam. Yes, Cedric, actually show me a cat. You draw that?
Yes.
That's a very detailed drawing. I'm sure you can use your drawing skills for your science notes also. I'm sure it'll be very beautiful. So in our 4 months plan, right, how at which point in time should we have already finished our note? Okay, so normally in our 4 month plan, right, 4 weeks before our exam itself, we should have already finished our notes, because the first 3 months we're already taking our notes as our teacher goes through the topics and all that. Okay. So always make sure to do your notes very regularly through the term and even during your holidays, especially during the holidays, right? What we can do is we can maybe redo our notes for some of the topics that we're not good at and we didn't score very well for our previous exam. Any questions? Or no questions? Okay, then in that case, let's go to our application part. Okay, so right now, right, we talk about living and non-living things a few times, but I don't think anyone remembers the notes, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is that to see whether you guys understand what I just explained to everyone, we're going to watch this short clip from Dr. Binox about living and non-living things and practice writing notes from what is taught in the video. So this is a very short video, you know. And then once you're done, take a picture and send it to the Refresher Clinic Slack channel under the thread. And just before I play the video for everyone, just a few things to remember for your notes. Okay, always use drawings, symbols, and colors in your notes as much as possible. And as the Cornell note structure, key headers on the left, summary on the right. Okay, and then lastly, to check whether your notes will make sense, try to look at your notes and see whether you can explain your own notes to either a parent or friend or anyone else. Anyone finished?
Yeah, I can actually send you now.
I see yours. Okay, very good. I see you made some drawings. Okay, living things natural. Yes, very good. Okay, this is good. Maybe one improvement you can make, you know, if you have different colored pens or different colored pencils, can try to maybe write living things in one color and then non-living things in a different color. So, but yes, I see the drawings. The drawings are very good.
Okay. Do we get like the feedback?
Yes, that'll be at the end for the feedback.
Okay.
Yeah. So after this, once everyone has submitted, I will show you guys, what may be a good example for this specific part of the video. Yes, Samuel. Okay, I see yours also. Living and non-living things. Okay. Yes, I see you drew diagrams. That's very good, and different colors also when you highlight it.
What about me?
Yes.
Did you show mine or not yet? Or do I need to improve and resend again?
I haven't seen yours yet. Okay, Cedric. So for your notes, right, is okay, but it's not very good. For your notes, right, you can always try to draw some stuff, and then try to use different colors also.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Take a note.
Okay. Okay, I think that is it, right? Because I think Charmaine left. So yeah, so everyone here has sent already. Okay, so let me show you guys an example of what may be a good example of what you just wrote. So what most of y'all may do first is to write a long paragraph, right? So as you can see the top one. Then after that, as what many of you guys done, you guys broke it down to shorter sentences. So for example, Cedric and actually everyone here did that. Okay, so of course this one is only in black and white, but of course one good thing would be to add colors. So when I say drawings, for example, when we say need external force, right? It could be maybe someone kicking a ball because non-living things for a ball that's non-living to move, right? We need to kick it. So an external force. Okay. So of course you can write ticks and crosses to show that what is the living things characteristic, what is non-living things characteristic. So of course always use drawings and even small symbols like ticks and crosses also work very well. Okay. Okay, so for accountability time, what you guys need to do is to make more notes for science and then show them in 1 week. Okay, so hope you learned something today. Bye bye.